Today is the day, everybody. May 12th, opening statements for Puff Daddy's trial, the official start date. Now, I know May 5th, everybody was saying that's the date. That's when they started the jury selection process. That's not opening statements, and you hear from the prosecution and the defense, and they start showing evidence. That's today. And they actually are finalizing the jury selection today. It was supposed to be done Friday, May 9th, but I think something happened over concerns about the Mother's Day weekend and things like that. That's why they didn't finalize the jury selection on May 9th. So they are finalizing it today, Monday, May 12th, a day after Mother's Day. I don't know what happened on Friday, May 9th, as they were trying to get it down to 12 and then have 6 alternates. I think today they're getting it all the way down from the 43, and they'll have the 6 alternates, I guess in case of emergency or however that works. But we will have the final 12 jurors in the box today as they begin opening statements. So the trial officially starts today. I don't know exactly what time. If it'll start later on this morning over there in the state of New York or whatever the case may be. It's not televised from what I hear. So you'll just have to go off of updates for people outside the court and the person who draws the sketches of everybody on the stand and, where Puff Daddy is sitting and things like that. The pictures we've been seeing where it's showing with the gray, the white hair, all of that. So this is the big day. This is the start. The trial is expected to last nearly 3 months. I've seen 8 to 10 weeks. It may go more than 10 weeks. And, we just don't know what's about to happen. He had a plea deal, which he rejected. No details of that were given. If it came with a certain amount of years or whatever it is, Puff Daddy said no. He tried for bail twice. He was denied. The third time, he took the request back. And so here we are today on May 12th. Also, I don't know who might get called. Mary J. Blige, could it be Albie Shore? Just so much in a long list of celebrities that could be called, other people who have been accused like Cuba Gooding Jr. Who do you all expect to see? Will it be like a who's who in this courtroom? I think Cassie is supposed to testify as well. And we just never know who's walking through that courtroom. I know a lot of conspiracy theorists have been talking about why Puff Daddy is no longer being protected with the whole, Illuminati thing and, what happened. Some say Clarence Avant, rest in peace to him, was protecting Puff Daddy for all this time. Now he's on the other side, and so now it's just Puff Daddy. Some are relating this to him trying to sue the guys who control Ciroc when he was trying to sue them about racism allegations. And so some say, okay, this is retribution for that. Now, whatever Diddy is involved in or allegedly involved in, they're now putting him through the ringer with this trial. It's like a punishment. So I don't know. Stevie J is supporting Diddy, said he's going to get off and he should throw another Diddy party after he's found not guilty and let them people know that he's never messing with them again. The celebrities who have chosen to be quiet and not say anything, Jay-Z, etc., there's a lot of them have been quiet throughout this whole process since Puff Daddy has been arrested. No one's making a statement. You go on their social medias, they're just promoting their careers day to day, and no statements on Puff Daddy, nothing publicly. I believe all of them have talked about it off camera, in their living room, things like that, but nothing that you and I or the media has heard. So some people, do you all think Puff Daddy will start naming names? Will it open up a can of worms? Who else can be taken down? It's bigger than Puff Daddy. I'll let you all know that right now. So much is riding on this trial right now. They offered him a plea deal. He said no. So whatever they was trying to get him to admit and agree to, and so we don't even have this thing today on May 12th, he wants to move forward. He pleaded not guilty. So here we go. So, it's I know it's a lot of people that got their own opinions on it, their own feelings. So many things he's been accused of, from sex trafficking to thinking he's been involved in the murders of Kim Porter and Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. I don't know if we'll hear about anything regarding those three and their deaths in this case, but who knows what's going to come out. It's going to be a circus. That's one thing that I'm foreseeing, that it's going to be something. And it's going to be on the news cycle nonstop, so don't overload yourself with it. You know, listen to the stuff here and there. Don't get distracted by it either. But who could actually go down along with him or get exposed in this case? You know, it might be some of your favorite celebrities, so keep an eye out for that. Don't put anybody on a pedestal. You know, you stuff come out about them in this trial, you might put your hand over your mouth like you can't believe it, but you know, I think this is a long time coming, and now here we are. And you know, I'm surprised they won't be televising it. I know they televised Young Thug's trial, but I guess they pick and choose what court cases they do want people to see. So, but we'll have more than enough updates about what's going on. I definitely wanted to start off coverage on it since this is the official day one of the trial. They'll have the jurors all selected today, that main 12. I've been on the jury selection before, and the process and the stuff they ask you and the paper they want you to write down, and you know, just who they can narrow it down to having unbiased people. This was back in 2012 for me, and I was just on the case. It only took us Monday through Friday, and that was it. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely a process in terms of how you want to make sure you try and get the right people on there. I don't know if you can get 100% the type of person that you want that's fair for both the prosecution and the defense, so you get a decent verdict. But you know, it's hard. Stuff that's already in people's heads and what people have been exposed to over the years. And we don't know how people might get swayed when a certain celebrity gets called to the stand, and you know, they're really into that celebrity, they're a fan. Because I heard during the process last week, they gave out a list of names. Kanye West was one of them, and asked people, did they recognize these people? And I think that was in part of trying to see if you do. And then next, are you a fan? And if you are a fan of this person is on Puff Daddy's side, can you be an unbiased juror because, you know, you a fan of this person, and if this person just so happens to testify in the trial, could it sway your vote to a not guilty because you're not thinking straight, you're starstruck? So that's kind of what they're looking for. They don't want people getting caught up in the celebrity, getting caught up in Puff Daddy's celebrity. They want clear heads so we can get the right type of verdict based on the evidence or lack thereof. So I don't know, will he get off? Will he just continue to stay in jail and get found guilty? What do you guys think? Plea deal is off the table, at least for right now. Some say he might start naming names if the case doesn't seem to be going in his favor. You know, they get through, weeks go by, we get into, I don't know, maybe late June. They're like, nah, I don't like what the prosecution is bringing. Now we're going to bring this out. So, you know, because it runs so far up the ladder above Puff Daddy, and that's why you got so many of the theories, conspiracy theories out here in terms of who's involved and who's been allowing so-and-so to do what, and who's kept things covered up and, you know, under wraps, and just how much can actually or will be revealed in this trial, especially if you go back to Jaguar Wright and what she's been saying going back a couple of years before Puff Daddy was even arrested, and all the other people who she says are involved in this type of behavior. So she's really looking to see, you know, who's all going to go down. And if you've been following Jaguar, will we see some of that stuff come out in this trial? So only time will tell. I don't think we're going to find out anything today. On day one, like I said, just opening statements. I don't expect any shockers at this point in terms of evidence. Neither side is going to reveal their whole hand. It's chess, not checkers, when it comes to, a legal battle. But if we do get some shockers today or this week, man, it'll definitely give you a conversation for Memorial Day weekend, which is next weekend. What names might be thrown out there, I don't know. But this is a chance for a lot to come out. And so we just have to, pay attention and I guess use our best judgment on what we hear to try and connect the dots based on, what other evidence they may have at this point that hasn't been revealed. And, with the accusations and whoever gets on that stand. That's going to be big, who takes the stand, who gets called as a witness. That's going to be huge, I think. And so that's something we got to keep in mind. And you never know who's on standby. I mean, I would think at this point, if you're going, well, no, it might be too early to tell, letting the person know you'll be called as a witness, and so to prepare. I guess as defense or prosecution, you might have, like, only name I've heard is Cassie. And obviously she would be speaking for the prosecution. But I don't know who the defense would call and who else in addition to Cassie that the prosecution would call. So that's the thing. Diddy has a lot of friends. Like I mentioned, Mary J. Blige, or, his associates, Jennifer Lopez. The list goes on of who can get called up in this case. But the jury will be finalized today. And I'm on USA Today right now, and I just want to give a little bit of an update on what they're going to be doing. So yeah, like I said, they got a pool of 43 people. They're going to reduce that down to basically 18, 12 main jurors, and then you had 6 alternates. So if something happens with one of the 12, then the 6 are on standby, things like that. And so that's what they're getting the number down to, I guess, this morning from the 43, and then they can start opening statements in the courtroom. So they're saying court will start an hour early today, and that's to accommodate the selection process. So that's why. If they had got it done on May 9th like they planned, then it wouldn't have to start an hour early. But they are starting early today because, they got to get the jurors selected, then they're going right into the trial. And then the opening statements are still slated to begin today. So everything's supposed to be going according to plan, May 12th, And then here we go. Now, Puff Daddy is allowed 5 different outfits for Monday through Friday and 2 different pairs of shoes. They will not have shoestrings in his shoes. I think that's so he can't try and hurt himself. He will be shoestringless, just with socks on. I don't know if they're going to get a sketch of that, his whole outfit, so he can mix and match his suits Monday through Friday as he goes to court, and then back to his jail cell, and each day. So we'll get to see him, dressed up versus being in, his jail attire, the jumpsuit. So it's going to be big. It's going to be interesting on how this case is going to go. Guilty or not guilty. And, the outcome of either verdict, if he's found guilty, if he's found not guilty, what does that mean? So let's just pay attention to it. Again, let's not get distracted by it. And, just keep your eyes open for what might come out of this. And, along with everything else that's going on in the world that's directly affecting you. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments about this trial. Does he get off, or will he stay in jail? Are you looking at a guilty verdict, or are you looking at a not guilty verdict? What do you all think? What do you all expect will come out of this in the next 3 months? Come August, when we should have a decision. Put that down in the comments below. Any other topics you want me to discuss, or any videos you have that you want me to review, send all of that to my email for YouTube. That's cregier.mj@gmail.com. That's CREGIER.MJ@gmail.com. It will also be in the description of this video as well, so you'll see the email there. And like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like this video as well. The channel is, and share it out. The channel is Facts of Feelings, all one word, no spaces. Put Facts of Feelings in the YouTube search, no spaces, and my channel comes right up. So I'm out for now, and I'll still be keeping you all up to date with, how this trial progresses over the next 3 months from May into August. I'm out.